And hello and welcome. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv, B-O-L-E-S .tv, television. And we are here with you, usually live, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. I'm trying to see if we're glitching. Glitch. A little bit of glitching, a little glatching. And you watch Pokimane on Twitch, and you watch XQC on Twitch, and they all Twitch glitch too. On Friday, Pokimane was going on and on about her frames per second being bad for GTA. So this is a universal thing that we all deal with if you're at the tippy top or if you're at the very, 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 very bottom. And as you can see right now, here on Boles.tv, hello, El Beyonce, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. We're not doing helium today, if that's why you're here. But we're happy to have you stay and chat, if you can find some interest beyond sucking in air. And as you can see, we have a total of 4 viewers today, which is shocking and hurtful and painful. Hey, we've only been at this for 4 months, although we have logged over 250 hours of live stream broadcasting here on Boles.tv via Twitch on Boles.tv. BOLES.tv. And the reason our viewership is so low is because it only took us 4 months. We finally figured out how to ban all the bots that were surreptitiously following us. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I started in radio at the age of 13 years old. And not because of my voice. I sounded very terrible back then. But you work on it every day, and you hope that you can make an improvement and find a good friend like you. So we're able to ban the bots. And the reason, I guess, people put bots on your stream is to either harass you or to bump up numbers. So we're working with Twitch because we're trying to move up from affiliate to partner, which is going to be very hard because you have to have an average of 75 viewers per day for a month. We've met all the other requirements except for the viewership stats. And that's going to be painful and hard to get to. I don't know how to get there except to keep just doing what we're doing. Maybe we should be sucking in helium every day, and maybe our viewership would skyrocket. I don't know. Oh, our frames per second were dropping to 39. I don't know why. Our upload is good, 6,000. I guess when I move, it seems like it makes it worse. So I finally found out ways to ban bots and ban them again and then ban them again and then finally just kind of get rid of them. And I guess the reason they're there, as I said, is because they want to get into your chat. Either verified or unverified. They want to bump in there and sell stuff or hate raid you or call you names. So I guess the way to get more interaction is to not lock down chat. Then let the bots come in and say terrible things that they want to say, which is all fine. But I'm not interested in that kind of thing. If I were interested in that kind of thing, I would just let anything go. And I know that's what the major streamers do. But here we try to have a serious conversation. We try to teach ASL. We try to have conversations about certain topics. And have to stop and ban people and all that. It just gets a little bit old. And I'm already old enough. So a lot of things happened over the weekend that have been very, very interesting and unfortunately fascinating. And we're going to talk about that a little bit now as we dig into the world of NFT and art and DMCA and all of these other weird things that have been going on the past week or so. And we start with this. We're taking a check. Ethereum, how we doing? Sort of down to 2,600. A few hours ago, it was way up to 2,670. So it's recovering. And when it was down last week, there were a lot of people who went in and bought a lot of NFT art because the price was so low. So it was a good time for some people, a bad time for other people. Let's see if we can get a gas price. I think this is the right tab. Yes, here's our Ethereum gas tracker, just for fun. So today it's $24 to send, to accept. and last week it was hovering between $8 and $45. So that's a little bit of a shocker. It's kind of high. So, excuse me, to start our conversation about DMCA and art and protecting what you own, we have to have a little bit of a background. DMCA is a digital millennium copyright blah, blah, blah. And what it does is it protects the original creator from other people stealing their stuff and making money on it online. Now, as a publisher for 20 years online, I have had to strike many, many, many other websites for copying and pasting my articles and the articles of other people that I was publishing. And it's a simple process, but a complicated process. So you go to the offending website host and you file a takedown notice saying, look, I wrote this article 5 years ago. Here's the link to the original article. Here is a link to the offending article. And I would like that article removed from that website. Okay, so that starts the process. And the process is really immediate because the assumption is the person making the complaint is not going to waste their time to make a complaint unless it's a valid complaint. However, side note, when you get on YouTube, there are a lot of music publishers who pretend that they own the rights to your music and harass you. Even if you write your own music, they'll say, oh, I own it. So it's up to you to prove that you own the music that you wrote. But for 30 days, they can take away your monetization. They can take away your advertising, if you have advertising. And then you eventually get it back because they can't prove their case. But they're out there hoping that you'll just give in and give them half of your advertising revenue because they put a claim against you. So that's an illegal stake, an illegal claim. Now, when you have a verified claim, so I post a violation of these people ripping off my articles, and they have 30 days to respond. And so what that means is their work has been taken down as a precaution because of my complaint. They can either take it down themselves and remove it, or they can fight it and say, no, I wrote that article, not David Boles 5 years ago. And it's very hard for them to prove that because the Internet Archive, you can go back and see when something was really written. They don't have to take my word for it, they can just check. So usually they just take it down, and if they don't take it down after 30 days, then what usually happens is the hosting provider just takes down the offending website 100%. Even if 1% of what they're publishing is my article, they'll lose their whole website. So in some ways, DMCA is good for creators because it gives you a little bit of protection from people who are stealing your stuff. Before that, in the early Wild West days of the internet, when you would find things that people were stealing because you do a Google search on your article, and up would pop up 5 other places where it's published, made you sick, made you angry. So you go to those places very nicely and say, hey, you've republished my article, and it's not your article, it's my article. And usually these are advertising firms, where it's just a website where they're trying to get advertising dollars and they need content to make it look interesting, and they copy and paste your article, put it up on their website so they can get advertising hits. And usually when you call them on it, they would say, okay, you caught me, I'll take it down. And sometimes they take it down, sometimes they don't. But before DMCA, you really had no recourse for help. You might try to go to the web hosting company and say, hey, look, this guy stole my article, this girl stole my stuff, they're making money off it. I have a website where I don't make any money off of anything. So they're not only ripping me off as an artist, they're making money on something that I wrote that I'm not making any money on. And sometimes if it's a legitimate web host, they would do a little investigation and take it down. But with DMCA, it's better because it's an automatic takedown. Just like on YouTube, and we've talked about this. YouTube, Twitch. If you're going to stream and stream music, as you can hear now, yeah, we're streaming Slipstream. And sometimes there are companies out there who say, oh, I own that classical music recording. And so you have the classical music recording on your stream. They go to YouTube. They say you have a DMCA strike. It's not a strike. They don't call it a strike. But somebody else owns that music, and we're not taking down your video because they don't want that. They can either silence it, take it down, or leave it as is and take your advertising money. And we don't have advertising money on YouTube anyway, but I'm still not going to take somebody falsely accusing me of using their music without a license, because I have a license. So then I, as the person who has been struck against in the DMCA, have to rise up and file a complaint and say, hey, I have the right to use this music. And the person who's claiming it does not have that right. I have a commercial license from Slipstream or Pretzel Rocks or Monster Cat Gold. And then once you file your complaint, it's noted, but the complaint is still there. And the accusing party can either take down their notice and let it go, or they can say, no, I have the rights to that too. So that makes it very messy. Because the honorable thing is if you're saying, hey, I own that music, and you say, hey, I have a license to that music, and you can go check, then they should take it down right away. And sometimes it happens. 99% of the time it doesn't happen. So what happens is then the clock starts ticking. And the accusing party has 30 days to respond. And if they don't respond, then they lose, you win, and you get the monetization that has been held in escrow for a month. So, in my case, when I was writing stuff and people would republish my articles, and they still do, it's impossible to police. They can write back and say, no, I wrote that article. Then it comes back to me as the claimant, and I say, no, they're not right, and here is all of my evidence of everything that I can provide. They have no evidence on their side to prove that they wrote or have the right to publish that article. And sometimes it's unfortunate because some of the authors that I've worked with in the past, they've given me the right to publish their work for no pay and for eternity, because that was the agreement we struck 15 years ago. Well, some of these artists, writers, later on think, hey, I wrote that article. That article belongs to me, not him. And they republish it, which they cannot do. So that's when I have to make a decision. Do I just delete their article on my site out of spite, and their article becomes lost forever because it's been published with me for 15 years, and if I delete it, then they get no help. They can have it on their stupid little website where no one will see it. I can ask them to take it down, that they're in violation of their agreement, or if I really want to play hardball, I just go and say, look, I don't care if they wrote it or not. They wrote it for me 15 years ago. They agreed to it. Here's the proof in email that they accepted the terms of this agreement. That article belongs to me as the publisher, even though they are the author. So when it comes to those kind of cases, they're dead slam. I always win them if I decide to push them hard, because I don't go after somebody unless they've wronged me. So with the YouTube takedowns, those are always nasty, because every time I've been hit with, hey, you don't have the right to use that music, I know I have the right to use that music because I wouldn't be using it unless I had the right. But that doesn't make it for a seamless process. And sometimes the offender withdraws their complaint immediately, and sometimes they do not. And they just harass you for a month and leave you, with this copyright claim, which looks bad. So now the question becomes, when you get out of writing and copying and pasting writing word for word, and they would republish their articles using my name and my email address. They would just copy and paste it. And this was a long time ago, but it still happens. Sometimes now what they do is they save my article as a PDF, and they publish the PDF instead of putting it on a web page. And it's all to sell advertising. That's what they're trying to do. That's the only reason they're stealing it. They're not stealing it for prestige or for any kind of interesting thing. They just want the money. So when it comes to art and DMCA, it becomes a little foggier and a little mushier and a little more unclear, as we are going to soon discover together in the big rigmarole that happened over the weekend between one of my favorite artists, Sabet, and a DMCA notice that he filed against another artist. And it played out all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, a huge melodrama. Not a little bit of a drama, but a melodrama. With, twisting mustaches and love and healing and all that stuff. So to remind you who Sabet is, I will show you some of the artwork of his that I have. He is an Iranian artist living in Los Angeles. And his work is very popular and somewhat expensive. And all I can say is, I love all his stuff. And when it comes to this DMCA thing, I'm on his side. But we'll get to that in a moment. So let me see if I can find him here. Oh, that's my Twitter page. Our internet is very slow today, and my frames per second keep bouncing up and down. If I'm glitching, I apologize. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. Okay, so Sabet is all about love and taking care of each other and beauty and passion, right? So this is my page on OpenSea. This is a Sabet piece, which I find very intriguing. I use it for a lot of my backgrounds online. Okay, that's his style. Now, does that save love, honor, and peace? I don't know. It's a little scary to me. It's artwork for a movie called Fresh Kills. Or Fresh Kill. So, that's okay. Maybe that's a gun for hire. Now, this is his Tokyo Punks series. And I have all of these in blue faces, but there are, I think, 3,000 of them. And the floor has gone up and down all weekend because Ethereum has been up and down. But these, to me, are very ugly, not beautiful, and, in my opinion, not full of love. Now, I have picked ones that I find to be sort of lovely, and this was the first one I bought with the 2 teeth and the smile. I think this is very charming. But some of the other ones, like this kind of, excuse me, expression, are terribly terrifying. That's a lot of teeth. This is my most recent purchase with the tongue out. I love that. And the cat whiskers. How can you beat that? So that's one side of Sabet. Now, he says he's all about love and honor and respect and holding each other. But this whole Tokyo Punks series, to me, does not scream about love. And here's another one with the crazy teeth and the eye movements. Here's another Sabet. This is the first one I was able to acquire, which I find absolutely hilarious. I think I'm the only one who loves this. Most people I show this look at me like, what's wrong with you? I said, I don't know if it's a dog or a cat, but it has ears, and it's saying something, which I like a lot. And then he has his ugly kitties. Now, I find these hilarious. I love the ugly kitties, and the ugly kitties I think are 300, one of one, and somewhat affordable if you're trying to get into NFT collecting. This is the latest one. I love the mustache. I love the hair with the Sabet symbols on top. But is this pretty? Is this about love? It doesn't speak that to me. But then again, what do I know? The kitty on a motorcycle. Janet says this cat is flipping you off, which I didn't even notice. But these are ugly kitties, so it's not called polite kitties. This one I use for my live stream here, logo, cat on the microphone. And on my SoundCloud channel. And I love the kitty and the watch, too, so you're getting 2 cats for the price of 1. And there's another one where there's a kitty holding what looks like a microphone on a different one. But then you blow it up and you look at it, and it's not a microphone. It is a chocolate ice cream cone. And here's a kitty just screaming at you, yelling, saying hello, which I think I use this on my Facebook page, with 1 gold tooth. Very cute. So I love the ugly kitties. So that is some of what Sabet is about. This is another sketchbook from Sabet from his early years, so it's just a photograph. But it's still very interesting and chaotic, which is what I like. I like the layers. The Sabet layered stuff is the stuff that really interests me. And these make great backgrounds on your internet page. And this is a huge, huge file. Every time I show it to you, it takes forever to load. So this is Sabet. That's who he is. That is his philosophy. He has sometimes 2 or 3 drops, which means he has new artwork up for sale. And some of his stuff is a 1 of 1, which is $50,000 sometimes, and sometimes he has 1 of 8,000, which are more affordable for like $200. But there's no doubt that Sabet is a leading contender in the NFT world for a guy who makes a lot of money all by himself. And he does it in an interesting way. You can tell he is not untalented. Sabet is supremely talented. And that's what makes what happened next over the weekend most interesting and perhaps concerning, where a lot of the Sabet fans turned against him. And before I get into that, because it's a little deep, we're taking our first blood pressure break. We will be back momentarily. We are back here on Boles.tv, BOLES.TNV. And we are here Monday through Friday, live with you at 9 a.m. We were doing a little glitching earlier. I think it's calmed down for now. We'll see. So we've been talking about DMCA and the difference between art DMCA and written DMCA. Now, art DMCA is harder, I think, to prove and sustain, but if you have a mark or a trademark, you have to defend it very early. And if you don't defend it, the courts, if it comes down to that, will say, look, you have been aware of these people stealing your work for a certain number of years, and you've never done anything about it, so why are you coming to us now? It doesn't make any sense. But art, what is derivative? You know, if I put a star on your forehead and I draw a cartoon, does that mean that I own a star on your forehead forever? Or can other people put a star on someone's forehead and also use that and not give me credit for it, or pay me, or allow me underlying rights? That's the issue that's going on with Sabet over the weekend that turned very ugly and very nasty, and we're going to get into it now. So this is sort of how it all started on the 26th. So that's 2 days ago. Only 2 days ago this has been going on. With something called Cryptomoires, which I guess is NFT art. As you know, Moires have been delisted from OpenSea, which is terrible because OpenSea is the marketplace where you buy NFTs. And if you are delisted, that means nobody can see your artwork, no one can buy your artwork. It means your artwork has been taken down for a reason. Initially, we thought it was due to an OS technical issue, OpenSea technical issue, because they just changed contracts on the 25th. But we now know it was because of a DMCA takedown request. Someone from the NFT world has been claiming that one of our traits in our artwork is an infringement of his copyright. Now, first of all, excuse me, this is slightly disingenuous because they're playing very loose and vague with the world. Because they know exactly who struck them with the copyright. So for them to say someone from the NFT world is lousy. They know exactly who struck them, and they know exactly why they were struck. So for them to say, oh, it's all this big mystery. Maybe the internet can figure out why we were struck and how we were struck. Now, why can't you just come out and say, hey, look, Sabet struck us, and we're not happy about it, and we're going to try to work this out. Hello, artist, or yeah, you missed some interesting conversation for the first half hour. But we're just getting started, really, so this is the important part. And here's the really snotty part, is in their username, they have this skull, which is going to kind of be the crux of it all. So right there, they're being snotty about this, which I don't like. And then they go on to say he, the unknown he, has been asking for an absurd amount of money as part of the DMCA request, even though we believe these allegations are unjustified and we are hurt by this contact that we judge dishonest, greedy, and unworthy of Web3. Any artist or brand has the right to make such claims. And then someone rightly says, people are going to think it's about this unless you say otherwise. Quoting this previous tweet, I will, my friend, as I said, that Clonecast is a genius. I discovered that by working on some of his items, some of them were just too perfect to make big changes, so I created this because I wish they would have existed. I love cool cats, but I prefer skulls. Suggesting that this is about cool cats. And we've talked about cool cats before here. This is not about cool cats. So continuing this conversation, so many PFP projects do this kind of thing. We will relay any information we receive from our legal team to our community as soon as possible. We look forward to all of the information coming out as we have nothing to hide. It is frustrating for you as our community and for our team, but we are here to support each other. Okay? Still playing loose and vague. They know exactly who struck them and why they were struck. DMCA cases are treated by OpenSea as an act first, ask questions later. It's not just OpenSea, it's how everybody is required to act under the law. If there is a legitimate claim that is made, you have to act on it, and you act on it by delisting, putting things on hold, not sharing money, type of situation, and therefore they complied immediately. Of course they did, they had to. You can't blame OpenSea for this. It doesn't, however, stand for a legal judgment or a ruling. Right, you have 30 days to respond. We've put our lawyers on the case and are, of course, treating this matter urgently. Right, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how this works. So they're trying to gain sympathy from the community by playing that they've been attacked. And here we go. Another person says on February 26th, I'm assuming it's this. I hope you're back up and running in no time of memories. So Sabet from February 24. Pre-sale list open to all for now for a limited time. NFT collectibles, Tokyo Punk, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the important thing. This is the crux of the whole matter. This skull outline, which, as I understand it, Sabet originally created in 1999. And it is a skull with that weird burp, burp, burp mouth, right? That's important. An X for one eye, and a heart for the other eye. Now, the question is, do you believe that is copyrightable? Do you believe that in this form, Sabet, as the creator in 1999, owns this copyright? That's what it comes down to. DMCA. That X, that style of heart, that style of outline of a skull. Are you glitching on my side? It may be the internet. See you later. Okay, see you later. So that is what we're talking about. An X, a heart, and a mouth. Is that pre-existing artwork that other people cannot copy and cannot change? So the community is outing Sabet as the person who did this DMCA strike. And the people who were struck are saying, oh gosh, we're not going to tell you who it is. It's weird. Just say who it is. Just say who it is. And here's another person saying Cryptomoires being DMCA'd is everything that's wrong with this space right now. Projects are apparently condonable because they never really go anywhere. However, because Cryptomoires has a real market and other projects are down bad, suddenly there's a need for legal action? Okay, that's the conversation. Now, here we go. That we discussed. Here we go. Okay. So, someone is replying to Sabet. And this person says, I thought you're supposed to spread love and positivity. Why are you DMCAing other artists who did a lot of other work and might not have even copied your art? Shame on you, man. Gonna burn all your NFTs that I own. And how do you burn an NFT? You actually can do that. Like some people, if they know your wallet address, excuse me, they can send you NFTs. And maybe you don't want them. Because maybe it's low-class art. You don't want that in your collection. So what you do, you burn it by sending it, gifting it to a dead address on the internet, on the Ethereum network. And then it just kind of goes into a black hole and it gets erased and it's out of your hands. So saying you're going to burn someone's artwork that you paid for that's a serious thing. To Sabet and Pixopop, the actions you have taken are the most anti-Web3 thing I've seen all year. And another person says, here we go, with the skull, right, with a strange mouth, and the heart over the eye, and the X, saying that this was from 2007, so accusing Sabet of copying this from 2007. When I believe he's saying that he originally created that skull in 1999. So in the Sabet world, and in the Sabet Discord group, there was a lot of wondering and accusations and heartache and trying to figure out what happened. Was it really Sabet? Was it somebody else? And then somebody found this and posted this. Dated February 16, 2022. And here we go. Owner, applicant, Sabet. With his address. The attorney of record, Kia Kamran. Description of the mark. This is a claim, a DMCA claim, trademark claim, about what Sabet is saying he owns. Color is not claimed as a feature of the mark, which would be hard because the color is white. You really can't claim that color. The mark consists of a skull compromised with an I, compromised of an X, and an I, compromised of a heart. Followed by the stylized word Pixopop. Type of mark, trademark. Service mark, and the owner is alive. Now, this is the evidence that it was Sabet, who has not admitted it yet, as of 2 days ago. And what had everybody very upset was he filed this on February 16 of this year. He did not file it in 2007. He did not file it in 1999. So right there, it looks bad because he knows the Cryptomoires are having a public sale of their work that he claims is derivative of his work on, I believe, the 26th and the 27th. So 10 days before their big debut of their NFTs, Sabet has struck them with a DMCA takedown notice. This was filed. OpenSea took down the Cryptomoires, and people are very upset because some of them already have some Cryptomoires, and now that they've been taken down, you can't sell them, you can't display them, it's just a blank page. So this was evidence, I think, that was posted on Saturday, and still no response from Sabet. And honorably, his moderators in his Discord channel are allowing the conversation to go through in the general chat, where people are going back and forth trying to figure out if it was Sabet, and they figure out with this, it was Sabet, why is he doing this, who does he think he is? They could have very easily just cut everybody off and shut it down, but they let it play out, which I have great admiration and respect for. And I am with Sabet on this, that I believe that his original artwork was compromised. However, if there was a mistake to be made, it's that he waited too long to try to claim it, and then when he did claim it, he did it in a very clunky way that looks retaliatory when your whole thing, your whole reason for being in the art world is to connect love and healing. It makes you look a little disingenuous. Because if you had made this claim 3 months ago, and then notified the Cryptomoires, hey guys, change a couple of these things because they look a lot like my artwork, well, a little tasteless. And Cryptomoires, as we learned, said that Sabet wants a lot of money. Pay me off, and you can use my artwork, which is not an unreasonable expectation. That's what happens. That's already done. Your stuff is already minted. I don't want credit. You're selling these for a lot of money. I would like my share. And they obviously didn't want to do that, so that's what happens. Then Sabet says, well, I guess I have to go and put an official DMCA claim. And the problem is, if you have this artwork that you have created for many years, and if you don't actively defend it in court or with DMCA takedowns, then later the court comes to you and says, look, you've had since 1999 to claim this artwork as yours and to stop other people from using it. And if you didn't, and if you were aware of it, then that's your fault, not our fault. You have let it go. You have released your artwork into the realm of fair use. And here is Sabet's explanation, going back to January of this year, 2022, and this is based on my Pixopop skull, created originally in 1999. This is a skull. I adore this piece. Do you think Cryptomoires know this exists? Seems like something they would want to collect. This is based on my Pixopop skull, created originally in 1999. As a holder of plenty of pieces, as well as some by Sabet, this whole thing saddens me. I hope you can work it out soon. Maybe some sort of dope collaboration might come out of it. Okay, that's fair. That's interesting. And this is on Sabet's webpage. As you can see under the heading, The Original. Coming soon. You can sign up to be clear-listed for pre-sale of this original piece of art from 1999, which is the X over one eye, the heart over the other eye, and the weird mouth. And that was put up last week. So again, this all looks like part of the scheme to DMCA the Cryptomoires. And yes, I did apply to get this because I think it's really wonderful and interesting. So over the weekend, you have some news people looking at this. Well. February 27, yesterday morning. It has been discovered why Cryptomoires were delisted from OpenSea. Until now, nobody knew why. Until reports came in the past couple of days that NFT artist Sabet submitted a DMCA, I think they have that wrong, takedown notice of the copyright project, as he feels that one of the Cryptomoires is an infringement of his copyright with this artwork. The Cryptomoires was recently delisted from OpenSea. At first, everyone had thought it to be an issue with OpenSea that would soon be fixed. However, it turned out not to be. The project addressed the incident last night. As you know, the Moires have been delisted from OpenSea. They added, he's asking for a lot of money. The reasoning behind the DMCA takedown request is because of the skull head trait, which, according to Twitter user StudentForacle, is a 1-minute minimalist skull. As he mentioned, that Sabet has used and profited from other licensed NFT and non-NFT artworks from the likes of Bored Ape Yacht Club, Marvel, and Star Wars. Sabet is a well-known artist with 38,000 followers on Twitter. He's created several projects. Cryptomoires is an NFT collection showing skulls on their art. Their community is very strong and active with 47,000 Twitter followers and 29,000 Discord members. The holders have adopted the Famori hashtag, a mix of family and Moires. Now Cryptomoires have been delisted from OpenSea. However, on the next big competitor looks for, the current floor price is 0.65 Ethereum, which is about $1,700. The Cryptomoires delisting on OpenSea has not stopped the fans from supporting it. Many holders have been posting on Twitter using the unique hashtag and showing support for the collection. And now it gets really interesting. Here's someone named Jen, who, in my opinion, has violated a trust by publicly posting a conversation that she allegedly had with Sabet on the 27th, which was yesterday. The ball is in Sabet's court to do the right thing, and he literally said he would. I feel like this space is no longer productive. Let's all hold each other accountable by revealing our private conversations with each other to make this space better than Web 2 and BS industries that suck. So here's the conversation that she posted publicly, claiming to be with Sabet. Sabet saying, "Oh, Jen, what did I get myself into?" Jen says, "You filed the trademark 2 weeks ago. It looks really bad." Sabet says, "We had copyrights from earlier." Jen says, "Buy a bunch of mores." "Yeah, but a copyright doesn't do S if you are not the first skull and heart X, ha ha. But, don't ruin your brand on this, and you can still save this." Sabet, "Okay, I'll clear it." I don't know who this Jen is, but she obviously has some kind of power over Sabet. Jen says, "I don't know your side, but I was truly shocked." Sabet says, "My heart hurts." And Jen says, "Yeah, it's just that you're affecting a community, so just help them. Heal them with love." Okay, I'll try to get it back up. So that's where we are as of February 22nd, around noon yesterday. And there's more to this story to come, and we're going to finish that story right after this blood pressure break. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Boles. This is Boles.tv. B-O-L-E-S.T and a V. Live every Monday through Friday, so far at 9 a.m. Streaming for 4 months, 250 hours of live stream. Where has the time gone? Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? Doot. So continuing our story about Sabet and DMCA takedown notices and how he had every right to do it. Perhaps the timing was wrong, but the intention is good. And my sense of this whole thing is that he was upset that he saw that he was being directly sort of ripped off by the Cryptomoires and spoke to his attorney about it and said, what can I do to protect myself? And the attorneys went into overdrive and said, look, we got to get this trademarked. We have to protect you and your work, because if you don't protect it now, you can't ever protect it later, because the courts will say that you were aware of this and you never did anything to shut it down, so therefore you lose all the rights to that certain style of creation. So I believe that this was a decision that was pressed legally by his legal team, and not unwittingly so, and probably the right decision to make, although it should have been done 3 months ago instead of 2 weeks ago. But timing is everything, and sometimes the timing just didn't quite work out. So now we continue with our saga of Sabet and DMCA. So this was posted yesterday. At 11 at night. It is with deep gratitude for the Cryptomoires community, I would like to announce that I1 Official, I don't know, I guess that's the creator of Cryptomoires, and I have come to a simple agreement that ensures a thriving space that is in love and creative for both of our communities. The DMCA will be rescinded as soon as possible with OpenSea. Also, this. And then he points to the person that he mentioned. Dear Famory, dear NFT World, I just had a call with Sabet. It was extremely positive. We will both give you the details once this is officially settled. But in the meantime, we are happy to announce that Sabet is taking down his DMCA claim. Also, I'm asking you to please stop all negativity towards Sabet. You have done an amazing job defending what you thought was right, and Sabet has realized some stuff he did not see before. Everybody deserves to do mistakes. Everybody sometimes acts with the best intentions, even if doing the wrong thing. If we cannot forgive somebody's mistake, despite their choice to grow and do better, then we are not worthy of Web3 either. If I can forgive him, then you can too. Everybody has a responsibility in making this world a better place. And all sense growth, no matter what triggered it, must be supported and applauded. I wish you a good night, and we both send you some love. Okay, I find it sort of immature. Just say, look, Sabet and I talked about it, we're going to work it out. Leave it at that. Don't try to take the low road by claiming the high road that it was Sabet who wronged us. Because I don't believe he did. Excellent to hear. Another notch in the belt for this wonderful Mores project. Great news. Woohoo. Sabet, you earned a ton of my respect. How you acted in the Twitter spaces. We appreciate you for doing this. I guess Sabet had a Twitter space where he talked to everybody about what was going on. I don't see it saved anywhere, so I can't know what it said because I wasn't there. The Famory community is rejoicing, and this will soon be in the rearview mirror. All love and positivity. And Sabet replies, as he often does, thank you, I appreciate you. Great day to be a part of the Famory. So this is, as you can see, this is what the whole thing is about. This silly-looking four-skull thing with the head, which looks like exactly like what Sabet drew in 1999 and claimed. Here's another one. Looks just like what Sabet drew and claimed in 1999. But the mistake he made was waiting too long, and I'm sure his attorneys had a heart attack. And here's some more. Famories. Not my thing, not my style. But I guess if you buy them, you're in it. This is what they look like. This is what this whole thing is about, these things. I'll take an ugly kitty any day. And here we go. Tonight is a big win for Cryptomoires family. I respect how blah 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 and Sabet came to an understanding and are moving forward in a positive direction. Happy to be holding my mores. Now we moon. And this is what they look like. These things. This is what all the fight was about. These crazy looking skull things. That Sabet said he created in 1999. More. Interesting, I'll give him that. It's interesting to have this claim. And I guess there's a lot of money in this sort of look. Okay. This is what Web3 is all about. Thank you, Sabet, for putting community first. Now, here's what gets really interesting. While all of this was going on over the weekend, there was another big thing going on over the weekend in the Sabet Discord server. He has a massive drop. I think it's like 4,800 pieces of NFT art that is dropping in fewer than 2 hours. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Called Healing Codes. Ironically enough. Healing Codes by Sabet drops Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern for pre-sale. And Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. in public. 4,850 NFTs based on 333 healing codes. Now, what is a healing code? Well, Sabet's all about love and inclusion and forgiveness and all of that, which is fair. And these healing codes, I guess you're supposed to look at them and they make you feel better. I'm not sure I understand it, but I am interested in it. And I'll show you, I won't play the sound, but I'll show you what this looks like. And it's just ironic that he's, selling these healing codes on Monday, and over the weekend he was trying to take down Cryptomoires. It looks funny, it smells, but sometimes you look funny and you smell because you have to. There are things that have to get done. So it's black paper with this gold drawing, and you're supposed to, I guess, look at these things and feel and heal and be a better person, which again is terribly ironic considering what happening over the weekend. And some of these have 50 copies, some of them are one of one, and I don't think you know who you are or what you get. You just go and do it and you hope to get what you get. And this is Sabet drawing one of these healing codes, I guess, or drawing a draft of one of them. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm happy to watch because I love seeing this sort of artwork out. A little bit sped up, but that's okay. And then he signs it, and that's a healing code. So it took some guts for, Sabet to go after this DMCA thing with Cryptomoires, knowing that on Monday he's minting healing codes, which some people say makes him look two-faced. And here's another thing you can get on the Sabet website. You can get a free coloring book. It's really, really quite lovely. And you can download it for free. It's an adult coloring book, Volume 1 from Sabet. Inspired by love and light and immense sense of passion for life, but not DMCA notices. The art of Ali Sabet. The stories of self-empowerment. Okay. Some people after the weekend will say that's a bunch of bullhooky. But here you go. You can print this out and you can color it yourself. You can learn how to be Sabet. I think it's just lovely. I think it's a wonderful gift to the community. And you can see the genesis of his art, where it's going, what's happened to it, and what it means. And here's another thing that was posted by Sabet on the 27th. At the morning, so 15 hours later, he was writing his apology. But that morning, yesterday morning, he was posting this to show his great talent in drawing. And he says, good morning. And I believe this is done in real time. It's not sped up. And this is Sabet drawing and creating. Oh, let me turn this off. No sound. Okay, there we go. So this is a real-time drawing by Sabet. I've watched this many times. I think it's just lovely and beautiful. I like this in real time. The healing codes was sped up, which I don't like. This shows you just how he does it with his own hand, in his own time, and create something. And he always puts those little Sabet codes on there. I don't know what they mean, or if they mean anything, or if they're just kind of like doodle things, but I love them. Beautiful. I love that. So that's Sabet. That is the drama from the weekend. And it's just a little bit exhausting. But it seems to be solved, at least for now. So I don't think we can blame Sabet for standing up for his work. Now maybe it wasn't done in the right way. If Cryptomoires had perhaps, when they were initially contacted, had tried to make some kind of deal with him, instead of trying to out him saying, oh, he wants a lot of money, I don't think it would have gone on as long as it did. And I think it would have been a lot more of a pleasurable experience for everyone all around, and it would have been solved immediately. But they got all defensive, they got scared, lawyers are involved, and then the two parties just talk to each other and work it out, which should have happened right away. So I'm glad it's all worked out. I'm sure Sabet is happy to have this behind him, because in 2 hours he's selling healing codes that are supposed to heal the world. And they're whitelisted. Now this is another interesting thing about this NFT art world. If you are on the WL, known as the whitelist, you can get a healing code from Sabet in 2 hours for 0.888 Ethereum, which I think is around like $300. Or maybe it's $200. I don't know. $150. I don't know. Maybe I can check. $250. Okay. It's a fair price for an early Sabet. And then I think after a day, then it goes up. And the way that you work these things out as a collector is, if you previously purchased something from Sabet, you can get whitelisted for future sales. And you have to prove what you've purchased, and there is a way to do that where you have a bot, a trusted bot, check your NFT purchases, and it looks for all the Sabet things that you've collected, and then you're on the whitelist. So it costs you money to get on the whitelist, but once you're on the whitelist, then you can get early access to many of his releases. Not all of them, but most of them. And that seems to be true for a lot of serious NFT artists. They want their community behind them. You get whitelisted by previously purchasing something, and then you can get in early when the floor is low. And then the hope is that you'll hold on to it for a little bit. Now, there are some crass people who will just take that and run, and the next day flip it and try to make, $200, $300. And that's, sort of bad. But there are also some people who, instead of selling it for $250, will try to flip it faster and you sell it for $200 if they need liquidity in cash. And that's very bad because that really lowers the floor and devalues the sale of all the Sabets that have been sold. So there's a lot of excitement, probably 3,000 people, I think, 3,500 already on the whitelist for today at noon. It'll be interesting to see if the servers can keep up with all of that action. And then I guess you can get one at the whitelist price. And then tomorrow, all based on your wallet ID, you can buy up to 5 more if you are so inclined, which would be over $1,000, to have, hold, and I guess resell on the secondary market, which I think is interesting. So I guess Sabet made his way out of it, and I know he had a lot of pressure with this minting coming up today to get this thing with Cryptomoires solved as soon as possible. And I'm glad it all heated up and worked itself out in a day and a half. But boy, what a day and a half it was. So we have this war in the Ukraine going on, and it's taken up all of our time. All I've been doing for 2 days is watching Twitch because I cannot bear to watch this ridiculous mainstream news coverage of the Ukrainian crisis. It just goes on and on and on and nothing new, and they're all trying to be dramatic, and they're all trying to make news by being the news, and it's just like, it's tremendously self-defeating. So sometimes you look different places to get insights that you never understood you needed or wanted. Well, here's our super genius friend Bob Lefsetz once again, writing about the Ukraine war and how he thinks it has caused a giant, unanticipated reset. And this is his analysis, which I'll share with you right now. 1. Isolationism. America first is history. It turns out we're all interconnected. A butterfly flaps its wings in Asia, and we feel it in America. He didn't finish the thought. That's something the Clintons and their trade policies had right. Unfortunately, those who worked with their hands lost their jobs with no reasonable replacement. But the derided elite intelligentsia knew that we lived in a global village. You think the rest of the world doesn't affect you, but gas prices are going through the roof because of the war, and the hottest social media platform is from China. Tickety-tockety. 2nd, billionaires are not the heroes we want. We've got a Jewish comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, who is evidencing more integrity as the leader of the Ukraine than those who avoided participation in Vietnam on bogus pretexts. And when it comes down to the essence, corporations don't run the world, but people. Zelensky is willing to die for his cause. He only wants to do what's right, and that's very clear. You can tell the guy's very generous about this. He's leading by example as opposed to polling. Furthermore, it turns out it's easy to undercut the billionaire oligarchs. Just freeze their assets and their ability to move around freely. It turns out money can't buy you everything. Credibility. Tucker Carlson of Fox News sidelined himself overnight. I'm not saying he's lost many acolytes, but the rest of the country, the rest of the world has seen he is not a serious person. He has no grasp of world affairs. That he's little more than a broadcaster looking for ratings. Truth, not ratings. That's what Zelensky has taught us. In one fell swoop, you can undermine your career, especially in an era when nothing fades away and everything radiates. And I agree with that. You have all these Republicans, Trump himself, promoting Putin, how great he is. Isn't it wonderful he's taking back control of Ukraine? And the rest of us in the world are like, what's wrong with you? Why do you support that? Well, be careful, because if they support that, imagine what they want to do to you here at home in America. 4, you're either on one side or the other. Americans don't want to commit for fear of being castigated. Studies have shown that essentially no one is independent, that if you check their voting history, they consistently vote for one party or the other. They say they're interdependent so they can be above the fray, holier than thou, but the truth is, the world is not perfect, and you've got to pick a side, one side or the other. 5, military strength is important, but it turns out the internet and business have heretofore unseen power. Turns out you can cripple a nation by cutting off their access to SWIFT, the banking system, and the international banking system. And Zelensky has called on hackers to disrupt the Russian government's institutions. Genius. Absolutely right. Number 6, boots on the ground is everything. Which is why the New York Times is winning this war in terms of coverage. They have the most people there in Ukraine. They didn't cut back for the bottom line. And when the crisis hit, they were ready. So the TV outlets, all of them left and right, have been left flat-footed, dependent on independent sources, stringers, and in truth have defaulted to the big papers, primarily the Times and the Washington Post. Absolutely true. A picture's worth 1,000 words, but the word is driven by print. First-hand accounts are everything. 7, tribes don't only work in national politics, but international politics. Germany got off its duff to aid Ukraine once other countries took a side and got active. Furthermore, the EU, the European Union, is a tribe, an organization to rally around, just like NATO. If you've got no associations to begin with, you'll never be taken seriously when the crisis comes. You will not have a seat at the table. You need to be a member of international groups. You must take responsibility for the world at large. Finally, number 8. But one thing about pictures, they undercut all the lies being told by those who've been getting away with it for far too long. It's very good advice. And it shows us where we need to be going here in America. We need truth tellers. We don't need people who go along with the bottom line. And now we're taking our final blood pressure break of the day. I will see you momentarily. And we are back. Boles.tv. BOLES.tv. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Oh, we've had a big show today. Oh, boy. Big. Show big. Talking about DMCA, Sabet, NFT art, what it means to put up a takedown notice and take down a takedown notice. And now we're going to do something that we haven't done in a long time. And we're doing it now. We're going to play a little Not Bobby Fischer chess. Because on the Discord server, a friend of mine, a new friend of mine, said, "Hey, you play some chess?" I said, "Yeah, I play some chess." He said, "Hey, I play chess too. Hey!" And then I realized I haven't played any chess at all on my live stream for the longest time. And since we got rid of our bot problem, we know that we are alive and well on the internet. We have our very valued viewers, and the rest of the world can participate in our learning facility. And I will put our Discord server in our chat in just a little bit. As we now move in, we're going to do our chessable dilly-dally of the day. Now, this is timed, so I have to be very careful, and sometimes I get all caught up in talking to you, trying to figure out the right thing to do, and then I get caught, and the whole thing blows up in my ugly face. So, here we go. I am going to be playing white. I have 4 moves. I have to sacrifice something in order to, I guess, get a checkmate. So I will try to walk through this as best I can while trying to understand all the mistakes I'm about to make. So I am white, and I have to get the black king in trouble. And what do I do? Where do I move first? Well, it's an interesting conundrum. I think that this goes here and takes that, forcing the queen up, the king up, and then I can move the queen over. We'll try it and see what happens. That was the right move. Shocking. Okay, now, I have this queen here that I can move here, or that I could move here to put the king in check. And then the king has to move, and then I have this rook where I can move up properly to put a little something on the king. And that queen is there, giving me a little bit of trouble. Keeping an eye on her. But as long as I keep putting the king in check, she is not going to move. So I believe that is probably my best move, is to move my queen there and put him in check. Now I could move the queen just right here and put him in check that away. But I don't think that's as good as putting him directly in check. Ah, see, wrong answer. The wrong answer. So I have to do it again. Now it's going to make me make the correct move because this is a trainer, which is fine. I like that. Okay, so now the king's in check. Now I move this rook here, here, putting the king in old checkerino. And then what? I guess we're going to find out. But I know that's the right move. And the king moves there. And then what do we do? Ah, very clear. This queen goes here. Boom. Boom. I believe, as they say in France, that would be a checkmate. I will do. And I won the game. I learned 4 moves. My accuracy was only 75%, which is not great, so I'm going to continue on. This is a 3-move puzzle. The previous one was a 4-move puzzle. Same thing, white to play. And here we go. With the conundrum of what to move next and why. Well, I think this has to be a rook move. From here to here. And then that puts the king immediately in check. And the king will have to move this way. And then the queen will probably have to move this way. And then this will take. And then this will take. Okay, we'll try it. so what I say? Okay, this goes here. Yes, that was the correct move. They love a queen sacrifice, I've learned. So I believe my queen then goes here. Takes. Puts the king in check. And this pawn will take my queen. And then we're going to be in trouble. But I'll try it. Oh, wrong move again. Okay, so they make me make the right move. And then, okay, then I see, then I go here. King's in check, done. Okay. Terrible, 66%. We're getting worse. I don't know how it's possible, but we're getting worse. So we're doing it again. White to play. Remember, this is not Bobby Fischer chess. This is really bad chess. For your friend and mine, Ringo Starr. So they love a check. So I'm going to move the queen here, put the king in check. That's not the right move. Oh my goodness. They want me to move my bishop. I never saw. They always like a take right on. Okay. Oh, this is just beginning. I'm having a bad day. So move here, put the king in check. The queen moves forward. Take the queen. And it's over. Oh boy, 33%, 75%, 66%, 33%. Now if I do one more, I'm going to be at 0%. But I'll risk it because what else do I have to do? White to play. Oh boy, here we go. Come on now. Come on now. I got to do this right. Come on now. Well, I think this is going to be a queen sacrifice. Go here, here, king in check. This will have to take. Okay, I'll try it. Oh, I can't believe it. Here, the rook will take, I take, king takes. That doesn't look right to me. Oh, I'm running out of time. Well, I'll just try it. All the way over there. Smart. I'm not thinking. See, it's taken me a long time to figure this out. Oh boy, and we're still not done. %50% right. Not great. Used to be a lot better than that. One more, four more. Okay, so the king is here. My queen is here. I have a rook here and a rook here. I know those are the main players. And this pawn does protect these two spots. So, what do we do? I'm very tempted to move this here and put the king in check that away. That to me is very interesting. But I know they like queen sacrifices. But I don't feel like it. I'm going to do this. Oh, never works out. My plan is never the right plan. So we go here, and then the rook gets taken. the queen has to go here. I don't know. Oh my gosh, terrible. Terrible, terrible. I'm not seeing the board at all today. I'm just not seeing nothings today. Not going well. And then I guess we go here. No, that's not right either. Okay, think, laddies. Okay. Think. Think, laddies, think. Right, all the way. Oh boy, just terrible. Terrible. I don't know what's wrong. 25% right. Remember, not Bobby Fischer chess. Well, I'm done with this. Now we'll go play the puzzle of the day from chess.com. Now this, I admit, is interesting to me because this is an endgame puzzle. And I am white to move. Okay. And that means I have these two pawns that are getting ready to queen, which is very bad news for me. Now the temptation is to go here and put the king in check. But then this will move here and become a queen. And then I take. And I get taken, and that becomes a queen. So I think this is... So I think this is probably a king move, because as long as my queen is here, this pawn is pinned. It can't move. It can't promote because the king will be in check. It's very interesting, but the king moves there, and then this promotes. King move. It is a queen move. Okay. Oh, I hit the button twice. Okay, it told me the answer. Yeah, see, now that's what's dangerous, see? Because now this pawn is going to promote to a queen, and that's no good. Ah! Well, that was easy. Missed the 23rd. Impossible. I played this every day. What was the 23rd? White to move. Well, I'll try to play it. Well, that was easy, and I don't know why I missed it on the 23rd. No. 23rd was last Wednesday. I don't know what I was doing on Wednesday. Well, there you have it. It's not Bobby Fischer chess. Played to you today by your good friend of mine, Mr. D.W. Boles. Looking for fun, finding love in all the right places and all the strange places. And it's been our delight to be with you today as we've talked about Sabet and DMCA strikes and artwork and what it means to copy someone else's work, even though it is a derivative of yours, or in my case, a straight copy. And we talked a little bit about the war in Ukraine and where we're going and how we're going to get out of it, and nobody has any idea. If you have any questions, you can write me, david@boles.tv. If you have a question for Jana, you can write to her at jana@boles.tv. You can find us on Facebook, Boles. Instagram is Boles Books. TikTok is Boles TV. Facebook, we're regular old Boles, Boles. And if you're interested in joining our Discord server, you can certainly join us there for some fun and conversation. Right there. So until tomorrow, I wish you a wonderful day. I hope you have joy in your heart and spirit in your soul. Have a good evening, a good wake up, and a nice nap if you can afford one. I'll see you tomorrow.